I'll introduce him. He's a conversationalist and a life coach, a mentor to coaches. Over the years, Mr. Samir has brought together people from the different spheres of life to have engaging conversations as well as exchange of knowledge and ideas. Samir exceeds his quick thinking, free format interviews, and inspiring talks. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome our next speaker to the virtual floor, Mr. Samir Geepee. You are welcome.
Thank you very much for that warm introduction. And thank you so much to everyone over here at Toastmasters. A warm good morning to each and every one of you over here. What I would like each one of you to do is actually switch on your cameras. I'd like you to engage over here and be present, because the next 1 hour could be the most powerful 1 hour for your life. It could be life-changing by itself if you're present completely.
You want, you can join. Sorry.
So let's mute everyone. Let's keep everyone on mute, but let's keep our focus completely on. All right. And I have 2 screens over here. So once in a while, I will.
Where GP, please unmute from your side. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I'm still seeing there are a lot of people who are not on their videos. And my invitation to you is switch it on. It doesn't matter how you look. It doesn't matter what you're dressed like. We know it's a Friday morning. We know you're at home. We know you're relaxed. But this is an opportunity for you to be completely present, because when your video is on, you have to be completely present and you look into the camera and you be in this moment. Because being in the moment is when things change. If you're distracted, if you're looking to something else, if you're doing something else and you're hearing this talk that I'm going to give, then what is happening is you're losing an opportunity for yourself to create transformation inside yourself. We all have the opportunity to create transformation at every single moment in our life. And let's use this next 1 hour really powerfully. So now, before we move on, and first of all, thank you so much, Shabil Umar. You know, for people like me who see only goodness in people, we need people like Shabil next to us, because there are always people who are out there to take advantage of us. And one of the things that we have to do is keep people like Shabil close to us. And that means not just Shabil, but also you have to ask yourself, am I surrounding myself with the right kind of people all the time that will take me to the next level? Because the people that you surround yourself with will define your future. And today, the topic is own your future. Now, let me ask you this. How many of you currently own your future? Say I do or I don't yet in the chat box. Let's keep the audio on mute here. All right, there's some I do's, I don't yet, not yet, I don't yet. All right. All right, on the way, great. Not yet, wonderful. Beautiful. There are quite a few people over here who know and who own their future. And there are those who don't yet. And there's Nabil who's asking how to own, which is even a brilliant question by itself. So for those who have owned it now, on the chat box, very quickly, can I just have one volunteer be unmuted who owns it? So let's take, let me say, Regina Gafoor. Can we have Regina Gafoor on the camera? Can you unmute her?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you? Where are you from today?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Alhamdulillah. Yes, sir.
In Dubai?
Yes, sir. I'm in Dubai.
Wonderful. Tell us about your story. When you say you own your future right now, what do you say? What do you mean by that?
Sir, so I have dreams, but presently I'm working as a teacher. So still now I didn't complete my dreams because first I plan to do my PhD in education, especially focusing to contribute to the society. And so I have some barriers. Now still I am working in private school in Dubai. In between what I planned, it was not happening. So planning is too much about the future. Still, I am thinking now. See, I'm going to move on to between 48 and like that. But still, I am keeping my dream. I can complete my PhD
Wonderful.
after a few years also.
Yeah,
So I have to contribute to the society.
wonderful.
Another plan is I am planning to start the school, especially focusing the poor people. Yeah, that is my intention. Still, I am working, but it is not be successful, sir. I hope it will be happen in my life.
All right. So let me pause you there because you're going on like a radio, right? And
Yes,
we all
sir.
tend to do that. We all tend to do that when we switch on and then we just go, 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 go. The most important thing is to have clarity in your answers. And when you have clarity in your answers, what will happen is you will see how your journey will start very precisely. You'll start seeing how effective it can be. All right.
Yes, sir.
So more than what you said, I'm asking you, I'm just reflecting for you about the nature of how you are communicating right now here. All right. So now
Yes, sir.
my question to you once again is with clarity, say yes or no. Do you own your future right now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, you do. Right. But when you are
Yes, sir.
clarifying that statement and we are giving examples, you are speaking of things that you don't have or you have to do, and you came from a space of lack. All right.
Yes, sir.
You see that? All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for volunteering. I'd like to take someone who does not own right now. But Regina, wonderful that she owns it. She knows it. She is going in the journey of educating and impacting as many lives as possible. And she's going miles ahead, step by step. She's going for a PhD, which will make sure that she reaches her goals even further. Let's say Prashant. All right, Prashant, you can unmute yourself.
Hello, can you?
Good morning, Prashant. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Very
How are
quickly,
you?
do you own your future?
I'm on the path. I have not yet because I kept a milestone.
Okay.
I believe, let's say $1 million or $2 million. The moment I cross that, financially, I'll be able to own it. One part of it. But yes, on other aspects of relationships and career, satisfaction, personal growth, spiritual level, I'm on 60 to 70% achieved.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. So Prashant has clarity as well of what he wants to do. And still, when I ask people who does not have, he raised his hand. Right? So what I'm going to share over here today is 3 things that you don't have to do and you should not do, and 3 things that you should do to own your future. And at the end of the talk, what will happen is you'll see if you have more clarity. And at the end, in a Q&A session, if you think that you would like to have more clarity, then you can raise your questions and see if the 6 things that I shared today, 3 of don'ts and 3 of do's, is going to create transformation in your life or not. Does that sound like a good plan? If yes, give me a reaction on the reaction button.
Yes.
Yep. Sorry.
I'm actually using 2 devices. One is my phone and other is the laptop. On my phone, the audio is not clear.
All right.
And
So
it's a yes from my side.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's a yes from my side.
Hello? So everyone's muted. Yes, Vincent?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So now, let me share my screen over here and we start. All right. Keep your videos on and engage. All right, wonderful. So own your future. Today we're going to talk about own your future. And I'm going to share a little bit about how my journey started. My journey really started by reading a book back in college, which is called The Fountainhead, that actually transformed my complete way of being. It was a book that showed me owning my future meant owning to myself and owning who I am every single step of the way. And today what we're going to do is we're going to touch upon 3 things that you should not do and 3 things that you should. And to begin with, the first thing that I don't want each and every one of you to do is to live an ordinary life. We all have the opportunity to live spectacular lives, right? We all have the opportunity to create transformations. We all have the opportunity to live meaningful lives that makes a difference. Now, what do I mean by ordinary? Ask yourself this at this point of time. By the choices that you make, by the things that you do, by the goals that you set for yourself, are you living an ordinary life? Are you demanding from yourself so much more than you truly possibly can? Each and every step of the way, in your relationships, think of someone in your life who is very special to you and ask yourself, is the quality of my relationship an ordinary one or an extraordinary one? Am I setting the goals really high or am I just being average? When we start asking ourselves these questions, then what happens is the quality of our life begins to transform. What are the questions that you're answering right now? Are you answering ordinary questions and giving ordinary answers, or are you asking yourself extraordinary questions to live an extraordinary life? There was this movie called Up in the Air. I don't know how many of you have seen it. Have you seen this movie? It's a very old movie by George Clooney, where it came out during the period of recession in 2008. And we are going through a very similar situation right now. In 2008, when the recession happened, there were a lot of companies that used to outsource the service of firing people to people like George Clooney. And his job was to go into companies and fire people. And what he did was this. I remember this scene pretty clearly, and it stuck to my mind. There's nothing more in that movie that I remember more than this scene. And the scene is this. He keeps all these brochures in front of the person who he's about to fire. And he tells this person, welcome, have a seat. And then he says, today is the first day of the rest of your life. And he's like, what do you mean? I mean, I have a job here. I'm not going anywhere. No. This job is not there for you anymore. Forget about it. Now look at all these brochures. Look at all these opportunities that lie before you. You can choose to be anything, be anywhere, do anything you want. Now, don't quote me on this, because if it is not there in the movie, it is something that I carried away with me, because I found that as a profound lesson to carry with me every single step, every day. And when I looked around at people, they set such mediocre goals for themselves, such ordinary goals, not pushing the barrier, not demanding from themselves so much more than that they're already doing. So ask yourself this. Am I truly living an extraordinary life, or am I living an ordinary life? Is there something more that I can do, or have I compromised? Because my parents will not accept if I start following my dreams. My wife or my husband will think I'm crazy, or my kids will think you're too old to start on your journey of following your dreams right now. Are you nuts? These voices in your head, if it's making you live an ordinary life, it's time to shut that voice inside your head and tell that voice to go to hell. Demand from yourself something more than ordinary, something more than mediocre, something more than average. Demand yourself to be awesome, to be spectacular, and nothing less. So this is the first thing that you should not do, agree to yourself, demand from yourself not to live an ordinary life. The next thing that you should do, and this is something that you should do, which is look for opportunities. And what do I mean by that? So this happened about 2 weeks back when I was in my mastermind with my coach and other people in the group, and we were having this conversation, and they give us a scenario. They give us a report, which was a recent study that was done on UAE about how many jobs are being lost and how many people are getting laid off and how bad the situation was in the current market. They gave us this 4-page report and said, take this report, go into the breakout room on Zoom and have a discussion, do a SWOT analysis. If you don't know what a SWOT is strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat. Now, when we went into that room, they made me the moderator for the session in that breakout room. We had about 5-6 people in the room and we were having a conversation. And while having that conversation, while I was leading it, for some reason, I don't know why, but I just, by default, I ignored 3 boxes. And I'm sure you can easily guess right now because of the word on the screen. I did not talk about strengths. I did not talk about weakness. I did not talk about threats. I led the entire conversation for 10 minutes around opportunities. And even though they struggled initially to answer their questions and figure out what really is an opportunity, by the time 10 minutes was up, everyone was empowered because everyone had opened the shackles of the chain that was holding them back. And they started realizing, oh my God, there are really opportunities even in this situation. Even in such a scenario, we have opportunities. Why didn't we see it? And everybody was in different industries. And it was amazing when they said, I didn't realize this opportunity was there within my industry. I didn't realize there is this opportunity for my career. I didn't realize this is something that I could do for my business. And if I do this right now, when everything opens up, excuse me, when everything opens up, this is going to be additional revenue for me. This is going to be a new way of me looking at adding value to my existing customers. When you consume yourself by having the opportunities conversation, when all you're constantly answering to yourself is, what is the opportunity that is there currently in today's scenario? If I'm getting fired, what is the opportunity in it? If I'm losing an order, what is the opportunity in it? If I have to go back to India, what is the opportunity in it for me? If you consume your mind with that, your energy cannot go down. You cannot feel depressed. You cannot feel sad. You cannot experience anxiety. And nobody can pull you down. Because remember this, any emotion that you feel it after you have a thought. You don't have it before. First you have a thought and then you have a feeling or an emotion. And if the emotion that you're feeling is making you feel angry, depressed, or anything that is negative, it is because there is a negative thought that is attached to it. That is the origin of it. And if you consume your mind with opportunities conversation, that is a positive conversation. It is impossible for you to feel negative. So right now we had, for instance, Sharif, who was discussing with Shabil about losing his job, receiving the letter, etc. If he consumes his mind right now with things that are going to pull him down, and he's not going to invest his energy into things that can be productive, that will give him the result in accordance. Whereas if he changes the conversation and asks, what is the opportunity that I am experiencing right now because I have been laid off, then the energy that will seep through his body will be completely different. I can see him already smiling. Thank you so much, Sharif. So you see, it has a profound impact when you consume your mind with opportunities, ask yourself this. I'll give you 1 minute. If you have a mobile phone, open the notepad and write inside 2, 3, or 4 things that you should be having an opportunity conversation with yourself after this talk is over. If you have a paper and pen, write it down on that piece of paper. What is opportunity conversation that you should have with yourself in any area of life? It could be a relationship. How can I improve the quality of my relationship with my husband or spouse or child or my colleague or somebody? It could be a spiritual opportunity conversation you can have. It could be a health opportunity conversation you can have. It could be in any area of your life that you can choose and ask yourself, where do I want to focus on? I'm going to keep silent for a minute and I want you to write down. All right. I'm going to share with you another secret. Another secret for you to own your future. And that is to keep writing. To always have a notepad next to you and have the habit of writing things down. Especially if you're feeling unhappy, depressed, or any negative emotion. My opinion is one of the best ways to heal yourself is to carry and write a journal. Keep writing, pour your heart out. When you keep things inside your head, what happens is it is in a loop statement which actually creates all the stress. There is one small sentence in your brain, in your mind, that is repeating over and over and over and over again. That is what is causing stress. And the moment you can actually write it down, if it is a 1-line grade, if it is a 5-line grade, if it is a 5-page grade, if you have to write a book on it, great, write it down. And the moment you write it down, you can deal with it because it's not inside you anymore. It's outside. It's on a piece of paper. You have detached yourself from it. You have assessed it. And most often, I'll tell you, it's going to be a very short essay that you'll have to write, a very small paragraph that you'll have to write, because you'll start seeing it is a very small sentence or very small scenario which is repeating. That's it. And you have to ask yourself, now in this scenario, what I have written down on paper, what is the opportunity for me to grow through this? And if you ask yourself this question, through this that I'm experiencing right now, what is the opportunity that I am provided with? You will see your breakthroughs will come from there because your success, and you will get more success when you fail more. The more you fail, the greater your opportunity for success. And if you want to create opportunities for yourself, you have to change the relationship that you have with failure and realize everything that is happening to me is teaching me something. But it depends on what you communicate with yourself. The next thing that you should not do is waste. We have been gifted with this life, this amazing life. And this life is not to be wasted, is not to be lived on somebody else's terms. It has to be lived on your own terms. And when you start living your life on your own terms, when you ask yourself, what are the resources that I have that I am not utilizing? What are the things that I have which I am allowing to go to waste? And you might ask me, how do I identify? How do I identify what I am not using? Can I have somebody is on sound is going on. Vincent, can you mute?
Just 1 second. Participant. Okay, please unmute.
Vincent, you're on. You're audible as well. All right. So Vincent, can you mute yourself too? Just causes distraction, throws me off. So how do you identify what not to waste and what to keep and what to do? There is something that I found out recently which has been life-altering for me. It has completely defined for me how I stop wasting my time. It has been the greatest awakening that I have had in the 43 years of my existence. It has changed everything that I do and everything that I am. So remember what I talked about where I didn't speak about the strengths, weakness, and threats? Well, I didn't speak about it, but when it comes to waste, the number one thing that we waste is our strengths. And if you want to own your future, the number one thing that we all have to do is to amplify our strengths. People talk about how we have to work on our weakness and bring it stronger. What I say is different. When you can work on your strengths, then you will take it far higher. When you work on your weakness, you will only become more mediocre. You'll just become another average who gets to know and do everything more. When you have a goal and you have to push yourself towards it, when you have a goal and you have to demand so much from yourself to go and achieve it, it means you are not amplifying your strength. You have set your goals from a space where you have to put a lot of effort. And what I tell everyone is, success must come not with effort. Success must come effortlessly to you. And what do I mean by success must come effortlessly to you? Imagine you love doing something, anything. It could be singing, it could be dancing, it could be playing the guitar. It could be people like me who love having conversations or delivering speeches, or training people. It could be somebody who just loves playing the Rubik's Cube, for instance. It could be anything, right? The moment we realize we are great at something and we can become even more greater at something, and then we put our efforts into that, our transformation will begin. So what happened to me recently is I came across a test which is called Gallup's Clifton Strengths Test. So if any one of you over here have not done it yet, or if you're not aware of it, what I would recommend you to do is Google Clifton Strengths Gallup. The test will cost you $50. Just for $50, you get to know with scientific data and evidence what is your strengths. And imagine if you knew what your strengths are, you can leverage upon it, you can act upon it, and you can do so much with it. You will know where to put your energies into and where not to waste it. And the moment you surround yourself with people who can fulfill the areas of life or the skills that you do not have, man, boy, oh boy, you are going to be very successful because you will integrate the good of everyone around you. And therefore, no resource gets wasted. Do the Clifton Strengths test, and then you will see how you will have tremendous insights inside yourself. And what you will be pleased and surprised to observe also would be how some of them are so accurate. There's a client of mine who, after we do the test, I give them a coaching session. And when I was coaching him, he said, it's like somebody actually was inside my head and taking everything and writing it down over here. The thing is, the things that comes naturally to us, we take it for granted because it is our way of operating. We believe that is how everyone should operate. So for instance, one of my core strengths is ideating, is coming up with ideas. And number one strength is strategic. So even for this talk, let me tell you this. This whole presentation that you see right now in front of you, I created it when Shabil started his speech. For me, there are things that comes naturally to me and easily to me, and I know how to leverage it. The moment you know exactly where your strengths lie, you will be a completely different person. You will know which job to take and which job to let go, what kind of people to keep and what kind of people to let go. And both are very important. So now you know what you should not do. What should you do? You should find your why. And when I say you should find your why, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is you should find your purpose. You should find what your reason for existence is. You should find why you do the things you do. And when you know why you do the things that you do, then you will know every decision that you take will come easily to you. Imagine you're sitting in a car and you're driving, and I use this example always. You're sitting and you're driving, and you're driving and you're driving. You don't know why. You will end up somewhere, right? Right or wrong? We'll all end up somewhere if you sit in that car. Same with life. If you don't know why you're driving life, you'll end up somewhere. Well, that's not exciting. If you knew your destination, you would know which road to take in life. You would know which detour to take in life. You would know if there was a roadblock, what to do and how to re-navigate yourself towards your purpose, towards your destination. It's such an important element of owning your future. And the moment you know your why, the moment you know what you're all about, then you'll start seeing the answers will start popping up. It'll be as easy as that. For me, my why is to create transformation in people. And I truly believe that each person has so much more to offer than what they're already doing right now in their lives. And the only thing that is stopping them is not having the clarity of what is the next step to take. So when I started this new initiative, which I call Turning Point, where every evening at 5 o'clock, I have people coming in and having a conversation. People ask me, how do you ask those questions and help them find their answers? And I tell them, through my conversations, what I look to identify is their why. And I know my why. My why is to help them live their best life. So when they come in for these conversations and they have these conversations, which is open to all, by the way, you're all invited to come and attend those conversations. It's free to attend, but you will see when you know your why, you will create transformation, and that's where you will begin owning your future. Now, the next thing that you should not do is no. Saying no is such an important aspect. And we stop ourselves from saying no, but we should not say no to the things that stop us from achieving success. So let me tell you this. The number one thing that we a lot of times say no to is our dreams. And I did that. I'm guilty of that. When I was growing up like almost every other average or every kid who's born to Indian parents. You have to be either an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, or a nobody, right? You have only 4 options: a doctor, lawyer, engineer, or a nobody. There's nothing else. So I said, okay, I'll be an engineer. But I knew very soon engineering was not my cup of tea. But I had a hard time convincing because I wasn't convinced deep inside me, and therefore my language did not demonstrate that. Very early on, we are taught to say yes always. No is a great thing as well. But never say no to the things that defines your future. According to Gallup's Strengths Finder test, which if you're going to do, you will see that your weakness as defined by Gallup is anything that stops you from using your strengths is your weakness. So if you have a skill and if you're saying no to it, that is where you're stopping yourself from achieving true success. What do you have to do then? If you have to own your future, first thing you have to do is own your now. This moment. Because the future is far away. What you have is the gift of now. What you have is every moment. If you tell yourself, I'm going to be something, do something after I retire, or after I have $1 million, or after I do this, and you sacrifice everything in the now for the future, you won't have a future. Because your future is created now, in this moment, every conversation, everything that you do defines your future. So the 3 things that you should not do is live an ordinary life, waste it away, and saying no to the things that makes you great. And when you stop doing these things, where you don't say no to your strengths, when you don't waste your life, and when you agree not to live an ordinary life, you will see life will be truly transformational. And if you want to remember it, think of it like this. Ordinary, waste, no. You can read that 3 things together as well, and it might resonate with you. Remember this always. Ordinary, waste, no. Meaning, do not live an ordinary life and waste it away. You can also say it is on. So they come together to tell you the things that you should not do. And the things that you should do is opportunities. Why now? Of course, there is only now. And if you look at opportunities in your life and ask yourself why I should choose that opportunity, because there are 1,000 opportunities ahead of you. Why this one and why now? If you ask these critical questions to yourself, you'll start seeing you will make the right choices. And to make the right choices, the first thing is to ask yourself the right questions. So when you walk away from today and answer the question, what opportunities should I focus upon for myself in my life that will have the greatest impact so that I truly own my future, and I start right now, you'll start finding the answers to those questions. And when you find the answers, taking action every single day is what will make the difference. So own your future. I'll throw the floor open for questions. If you like to ask me any questions after the session is over, after time, You can either follow me on any of these 3 platforms and raise your questions over there as well. Thank you so much, Talkmasters, for creating this amazing platform and having me over here. It's been a true pleasure. Over to you, Vincent, to moderate the Q&A. You have to unmute yourself, Vincent.
Now we'll go for the Q&A session. Anilji, you have a question, right? Hello.
Are there any questions?
Anilji?
No, sorry, it was a mistake. By mistake, I have raised my hand. I'm sorry for that. Anyway, it was a very, very, one of the best conversations that I ever heard. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay.
A lot of takeaways from.
Bishnu has raised the hands. Bishnu? Hello? Bishnu? Sharif Mudu? Can you hear me? No response.
I see 2 participants raising their hands. Sharif Mudur. Yeah, Sharif wants to ask a question. Sharif, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Samir sir.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I have to thank you because rather than thinking what I have to chase, actually, you boosted me what I should think about my future.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. And as an advisor, I can ask you what I have during COVID. There are job market is actually that is very saturated and the vacancy is very less. So actually, I was working as a PRO. I've been to this country for around 18 years. So what industry should I choose right now if I don't get a PRO vacancy?
What do you enjoy doing the most, Sharif?
PRO works.
What do you mean by that? What do you enjoy?
Public relation. Actually, most of the things I was actually connected with the government entities, processing the documents and all.
So you have been doing this for how many years now?
Half of my career in UAE, around 10 years. Before I was in sales and marketing and all.
You enjoy doing this very much, and you have learned everything about this business?
Sort of, like 70-80% of it.
All
but
right.
because it's always changing rules and regulation in UAE.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why.
80% you know. Now my question to you is this
Okay.
what you want to be doing when you're 50, 60 years old?
No, absolutely not.
What would you want to be doing?
I want to be an entrepreneur or something.
Okay, what does that mean? What does that look like?
It's if I looking from now, it's like a blur. The visibility is not there.
Okay, so let us create some visibility in this conversation if you're open to it. Are you open to that idea?
Actually, I'm always open to feedback.
All right, so I'm not going to give you feedback right now here. I'm going to ask you a few questions. And in the process, if something opens up for you, you will see the purpose opening up and becoming more clear. The blurry side, goals and life may vanish if you're open to it. Are you open to it?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, wonderful. Now tell me, if you could do anything today, if money was not a restriction, what would you do?
Of course, a small business or.
So why do you attach the word small to the business?
Actually, from starting, you can do this with the small, then gradually you can move to the big one.
Okay, if it was moving to the big one, what would that look like?
Joining in a corporate like or something.
So let me ask you again. You
Okay.
have 10 years of experience in PRO services.
Yes.
And do you believe on a scale of 1 to 10, you're brilliant, which is number 10, or number 1, which is entry level? Where would you rate yourself?
I can rate myself 8 out of 10.
Wonderful. But with regards to people and managing people, on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate yourself? Where 10 is very good and 1 is
Mhm. 10.
wonderful. Now you have the skills to become an entrepreneur right away. The only thing that is missing is money and a dream and a goal.
Yes. Yes.
Now all you have to do is set a dream and a goal. In the business of PRO services, are there successful people?
Many there are.
Give me
They
a name.
have started their consultant like in
Give me the name of a company that you admire.
recently I've seen that one of the company called Presto.
What do you like about them?
Their service and their approach, and they have efficient people, like they have a professional. They can easily help out the people who's looking for
What
in
if
any
you
kind.
create a company like that?
I will be more than happy like if I could open. Yes.
Is it something that you would like to do when you're 50, 60 as well, growing a company which is bigger than that?
Yeah.
Do you see how you can actually grow while setting up something like that?
I don't have much idea, but we can try.
So it depends on how hungry you are for that
That you
dream.
will have. Yeah.
What I'm seeing right now over here is you have a belief system. How old are you, Sharif?
43.
43. Do you see your age as a barrier for you to start a new business at this point of time and taking a risk?
Not at all.
Okay. So what is the only thing that
Because I've read so many documents, even like KFC and other.
wonderful, great.
Uh,
Now let me
yeah.
ask you this. What is the only thing that is stopping you from going out and identifying investors to make this dream of yours a reality?
What I notice currently, the situation market, people are afraid to invest. Even I can approach and I can identify the investors. The one thing stop.
So let me ask you this. How many people are there in this market who have money to invest? Give me a number. Any,
Very few I know, like
not
big
you know,
business people.
not you know, whether you know or you don't know, how many people are there in this market?
In percentage wise, I can say 80% of people doesn't have money.
My question
They
again,
don't have.
answer this specific question. Give me a
Okay.
number. We have 10 million people in UAE,
Okay.
approximately, right? What is
Yes.
the number of people who you feel have money to invest in a new business or a new opportunity? Your estimate.
10%.
10% is what, like 100,000 people?
Yeah, sort of number, like
10%
let's
is
say.
actually 1 million. Let's say 1%.
Yes. Yeah.
1% is 100,000. Am I right? Guys, am I right? I'm bad
Yes.
at maths.
Yes.
Not doing it.
Even myself, I'm very bad at maths.
Don't worry. So you have different skills, which is people skill.
Yes.
One more skill, he speaks 8 languages, Sharif Mudur.
Wonderful. So Mudur,
Yes.
you see this, what is happening over here.
Mm-hmm.
100,000 people in UAE who has money, according to you, that has money to invest in a business. And out of that, maybe you know 20, 30 people.
Yeah.
Do you see how many you don't know and how many you can reach out to?
Yeah, many. There are some barriers to reach out because my circles and the courses very few, maybe.
So if you're very passionate Every
Okay.
no that you get is telling you there is more people. Let me ask you this question. Have you ever lost your key? Your car key or your house key or something somewhere, have you lost it?
Yes, many times.
Many times. You lose it, right?
Many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Often my room key. Yeah.
all right, let me ask you this. Why do you find it in the last place you look for it? After you search
So
everywhere,
I did.
last place,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Has it happened?
Yes, many times. I searched everywhere. I couldn't find. At last, I found one at one place which I haven't searched for.
So why is it that you find it at the last place?
Because I need it anyhow. I can't do anything without that key.
Number one. And what is another reason why you find it in the last place?
I haven't searched it for that place.
Okay. Is there any other reason?
This is only two reason I found.
I'll give you one more. One more reason is once you find it, you stop searching.
Yes, absolutely.
It becomes the last place.
Yes, I haven't got a further place to search.
So if you're looking for investors, if you want to create a business, now is a high time. You're 43, so start a business. The job that you have lost is a blessing in disguise for you from God. And the fact that you're on this call and having this conversation with me is a blessing in disguise from God for you. You are a person
Thank you.
who is ready to take action, who is ready to show up, who is ready to demand more out of yourself from life, which is why you raised your hand in both the conversations with Shabil and myself. When each one of us over here is ready to demand more out of ourselves, we will show up. We will take risk. We will not think what the other person will think if I speak or share or show my insecurities or my vulnerabilities. If you are ready to show yourself up transparently, who you are, and I see you, Sharif, and I acknowledge you for it, and I'm sure you will achieve your dreams because you're someone
Inshallah.
who raises his hand and who's ready to go for what he wants.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much. Actually, that the first word you are giving me, actually, it give me some energy in me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sharif. And this conversation, even though it was with Sharif, it is with each and every one of you over here. Each and every
You're
one
welcome.
of us
Thank you.
have challenges. Each and every one of us have roadblocks. Each and every one of us struggles at some point of time. And these are the kind of conversations that we have at 5 p.m. every day at Turning Point. Because just by listening, you might have an insight that might transform your life. Ask yourself, where am I stuck? And am I willing to play on court and change my life? If you're willing to do that, you'll start seeing, you'll start owning your future. And when you own your future, everyone around you will be impacted as well. There will be people who will say you can't do it, but when they say you can't do it, what they truly mean is they can't do it, or they wouldn't do it, or they are not capable of doing it. Only you know what you're capable of doing. Don't stop yourself. Sharif rightly said, I want to set up a business. I have 10 years of experience being a PRO, and there is nothing more that he enjoys more than doing a PRO work. If he knows who is the best player in town, what are they offering? What are the challenges? And if he goes and asks himself, what can I do better than them? What can I do to create a difference? How are they getting customers? How are they getting their, and how are they growing as a company? If you answer the question, find the right answers. And when you find the right answers, your life, my friends, will be transformed. You will own your future. You will see everything is in your hands. Everything is possible. All you have to do is the first thing, believe in yourself. And when you do that, There's nothing but smiles that will be on your face and gladness in your heart. Thank you so much, Vincent. I think we have overshot time.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Samir Geepee. You made us think today where we stand in the life, and you were not just speaking, you were counseling us, you were writing on our brain. Thank you very much. Salute your remarkable power of persuasion. Thank you very much. And I hope you will also consider thinking to speak to us again. Thank you very much.
Always. Thank you.